As you know, you use the customer interview to test the business model canvas assumptions you're making, especially on the right side of the canvas and in the center. And we'll talk today about that center portion, specifically testing your value proposition hypotheses. Hi, I'm Steve Morris, and I use this Startup SOS channel to provide practical how-to advice for first-time entrepreneurs. So how do you get started with your customer interview? Well, in this video, we'll go through some starter questions for that process. But it's good to keep in mind that these are just starter questions. The whole idea in the customer interview is to ask open-ended questions, listen more than you talk, and then ask follow-up probing questions because you're really trying to understand the customer's point of view. And specifically today, we'll talk about the customer perspective on the value proposition, which is what's the job to be done, what's the pain they're trying to avoid, and what's the gain that they're trying to realize. So it's not a bad idea to start by just describing, here's the job to be done that we're focused on. Is that indeed a job that your department does and that you're involved in doing? Hopefully the answer is yes. And you can go on to ask some follow-up questions like, how is this job done today? In fact, to get a little more detail, you might specifically ask, could you just describe the whole workflow for the department and how this job fits into that workflow, but then how the actual job itself works step by step by step. What you would like to do is understand exactly how the job is done today using their current solution. Another angle to try to learn more about the job to be done is just to ask, overall, what are you trying to accomplish in getting this job done well? That's simply, again, taking a different angle where you're hoping to learn a little bit more about what the job is and maybe start to get into the question of really why it's important, which starts to get into really the pain they're trying to avoid or the gain that they're trying to realize. Shifting all the way into questions about the pain and the gain, you might start with just an overall gauging question of, hey, on a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied are you with the way the job is getting done today or with the solution that you're using today to get the job done? And what works well with the current way you're doing it? And on the other hand, what are the problems? What doesn't work so well with the way you're doing it today? Again, with the solution that you're using today. And specifically, what are you missing out on? I mean, what is the pain, the negative involved in the way you do it today, and or what's the gain? What's the benefit that you really should be able to attain in getting this job done better, and you're just not fully realizing? Again, you're just coming up with different ways of trying to ask about the pain and the gain, so you really understand what is it that makes this job important. Another angle to try is to ask, hey, you realize there are some problems with the current approach. What's preventing you from addressing those today and making those better? You're kind of giving the person permission to complain here. Maybe complain about the vendor. Maybe their current vendor just has heard what the issues are and hasn't fixed them. Or maybe there are management barriers to doing the right things, to fixing the problems, or funding barriers. You can potentially learn a lot by letting the person explain what's in the way now, what really is the problem. Let them complain a little bit, and you could learn a lot. Another way to learn more is to ask the person about their ideas. How would they do this better? What would they like to see changed? Or if they could wave a magic wand and come up with the perfect solution, what would it look like? People tend to like to talk about their ideas. So fine, ask them about their ideas for what a better solution would look like. Another way to learn more is to just ask about what other solutions have they tried to get this job done. And if they have tried some different solutions from different vendors, what did they like about those different solutions and what did they not like? What didn't work so well? Are they still actively looking for a better solution? Are they actually so motivated that they're really looking for a better way to get this job done? Or are they not really quite that motivated? It's just not really a big enough deal given everything else they're dealing with. They're not really actively looking because it's just not really quite important enough. So there are some ideas on questions that you can start with in doing your customer interview to really probe value proposition. But remember, they're just starters. You get to ask the follow-up probing questions so that you really understand where the customer is coming from. Now, we're putting together a very complete list of customer interview questions, not just for the value proposition, but for several other parts of the Canvas. You can get on the list to get that once it's done through the link that's in the notes, so check that out. And of course, we have more coming up in this series. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do that and click the notification bell so you know when those future videos are available. And if this was helpful, please click the like and share it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment. And of course, the entire series on testing your business model Canvas is available in the link to the playlist right below me. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching.